Good morning, everyone. Hello, welcome to the Health Breakdown. Thank you for being here today. I'm excited to talk about a topic that might seem simple on the surface, but could make a real difference in our health and daily comfort: what we reheat in the kitchen. Especially for us seniors, food safety and proper nutrition become more important than ever. Certain foods that we commonly store as leftovers can actually pose a health risk when reheated. One such example is chicken, particularly when it's on the bone. When chicken is initially cooked and then cooled, its protein structure changes. Reheating it, especially unevenly, like in a microwave, can further alter those proteins in ways that make them hard to digest. More importantly, if the chicken wasn't stored correctly or cooked thoroughly the first time, bacteria such as salmonella can linger and multiply. Microwaves often heat food unevenly, leaving cold spots where bacteria can survive. If you must reheat chicken, it should be heated all the way through until it's steaming hot, and ideally in an oven or stovetop where the temperature can be better controlled. Another food to avoid reheating is mushrooms. While mushrooms are rich in nutrients and a great addition to many meals, they are also quite delicate. Once cooked, their complex proteins and enzymes start to degrade quickly. When mushrooms are reheated, especially if they've been stored for more than a day, these breakdowns accelerate and can produce compounds that irritate the digestive system or cause discomfort. In some cases, reheated mushrooms can lead to food poisoning if they weren't cooled and stored properly. The safest practice is to only cook what you need and enjoy mushrooms fresh, or if you have leftovers, eat them cold as part of a salad or sandwich. Eggs are also on the list of foods that should not be reheated. Whether they are boiled, scrambled, or fried, eggs can quickly become rubbery, unpleasant in texture, and even unsafe if not handled correctly. Reheating eggs can cause their proteins to toughen and change in a way that makes them difficult to digest. Moreover, eggs are a common breeding ground for bacteria like Salmonella enteritidis if they're left at room temperature for too long before being stored. If these bacteria are present, simply warming up the eggs may not kill them, especially if the food is not heated evenly and thoroughly. It's best to consume eggs right after they are cooked. If you have leftover eggs, consider eating them cold, such as in egg salad, rather than reheating them. While many people reheat leftovers without a second thought, these examples highlight the importance of knowing which foods are safe to reheat and which are not. The consequences of improperly reheated food can be particularly serious for seniors, whose immune systems are not as robust as they once were. By avoiding reheating chicken, mushrooms, and eggs, and instead enjoying them fresh or cold when appropriate, you can reduce your risk of foodborne illness and enjoy meals with greater peace of mind. Always prioritize safety over convenience, and when in doubt, remember that some foods are better enjoyed the first time around. As we age, our bodies undergo a number of changes, and one of the most significant is a gradual weakening of the immune system. This means that seniors are more vulnerable to infections, including those caused by foodborne bacteria. Prioritizing food safety becomes not just a good practice, but an essential one to help maintain health and avoid complications that might result from contaminated or improperly handled food. What might cause mild discomfort in a younger adult could lead to serious illness, hospitalization, or even more severe outcomes for a senior. One of the most important aspects of food safety is proper food storage. Leftovers should be refrigerated within 2 hours of cooking, and ideally even sooner if the environment is warm. Allowing food to sit out at room temperature creates an ideal breeding ground for bacteria such as Salmonella, Listeria, and E. coli. These bacteria can multiply rapidly and may not be killed even when food is reheated. For seniors, this makes it crucial to follow guidelines closely. Food should be stored in shallow containers to allow for quicker cooling, and refrigerators should be kept at 40 degrees F 4 degrees C or lower to slow the growth of bacteria. Another key factor is thorough reheating. Food must be reheated to an internal temperature of at least 165 degrees F 74 degrees C to ensure any harmful bacteria are destroyed. This is especially important for foods like soups, stews, rice, and meats. Using a food thermometer is the most reliable way to check temperatures, and it's a small investment that can have a big impact on health. Relying on appearances or touch can be misleading, as some foods may appear hot on the outside while remaining cool in the center. Microwave ovens, although convenient, pose particular challenges for food safety. They tend to heat food unevenly, leaving cold spots where bacteria can survive. This is why stirring food halfway through the reheating process and allowing standing time is recommended. Covering food with a microwave, safe lid or wrap can also help it heat more evenly and retain moisture, improving both safety and taste. Cleanliness in the kitchen also plays a vital role. Seniors should take extra care to wash their hands, kitchen surfaces, and utensils regularly. Cross-contamination can happen easily using the same cutting board or knife for raw meat and then for vegetables can spread bacteria. Keeping a clean and organized kitchen reduces the risk of such errors and supports a safer cooking environment. Finally, seniors should pay close attention to expiration dates and avoid consuming food that looks, smells, or tastes off. Trusting your instincts and erring on the side of caution is a wise habit. When the immune system is less robust, even a small lapse in food safety can lead to big consequences. By making food safety a daily priority, seniors can enjoy their meals with confidence, maintain better health, and avoid unnecessary health complications. While there are certain foods that should never be reheated due to safety risks, there are others that actually benefit from reheating, both in terms of flavor and food safety. For seniors, who often prepare meals in batches or rely on leftovers for convenience, it's helpful to know which foods not only reheat well, but may even improve after a second warming. Properly handled, these foods can be both safe and enjoyable, providing comfort, nourishment, and ease of preparation. Soups and stews are perfect examples. In fact, many people say they taste better the next day. That's because the flavors have time to meld and deepen as the ingredients continue to interact after cooking. When reheated properly, brought to a full boil, they are not only safe but potentially even more delicious than when first made. For seniors who may want to cook once and eat several times, making a large pot of soup or stew is a smart, satisfying option. These meals can also be frozen in portions and safely reheated later, ensuring a quick and hearty meal without much effort. Cooked rice is another food that benefits from proper reheating, though it does come with a cautionary note. Rice can harbor a bacterium called Bacillus cereus, which survives the cooking process. If cooked rice is left out too long before refrigeration, this bacterium can multiply and produce toxins that cause food poisoning. However, if the rice is refrigerated within 2 hours of cooking and stored properly, reheating it until it's steaming hot will make it safe to eat. Adding a small splash of water before reheating can help restore its moisture and improve its texture. For seniors who enjoy rice-based dishes, this method offers a convenient and safe way to enjoy leftovers. Pasta with sauce also makes an excellent leftover option. Unlike some foods that dry out or become rubbery, pasta tends to absorb sauce and flavor more fully over time, often resulting in a richer taste. Gently reheating pasta on the stove or in the microwave with a bit of added sauce or water can bring it back to life. It's an easy way to enjoy a warm, comforting meal without starting from scratch. Plus, pasta dishes often include vegetables or proteins, offering a well-rounded, reheatable meal. For seniors, these reheatable foods provide not just convenience, but also an opportunity to maintain a balanced diet without needing to cook every day. The key is in proper storage, cooling leftovers quickly, sealing them in airtight containers, and keeping them refrigerated or frozen until ready to use. Then, reheating them thoroughly and evenly ensures they're both safe and appetizing. By understanding which foods are reheating friendly, seniors can better plan meals, reduce waste, and enjoy delicious dishes with confidence and ease. It's all about using smart strategies in the kitchen to get the most out of every meal. Proper food storage and reheating are two parts of the same process when it comes to ensuring meals are safe to eat, especially for seniors. These steps are not just about convenience. They are vital to preventing foodborne illnesses, which can be more serious in older adults due to weakened immune systems. When food is not stored correctly, even the best reheating methods may not make it safe again. Similarly, if food is stored properly but not reheated thoroughly, harmful bacteria can survive and pose health risks. One of the most important practices in food safety is cooling and storing leftovers promptly. After a meal is cooked, it should be placed in the refrigerator within 2 hours, ideally sooner if the room is warm. Leaving food out too long allows bacteria to multiply rapidly. Seniors should use shallow containers for storage so the food cools quickly and evenly. Deep containers take longer to cool, increasing the risk of bacterial growth in the center of the food. It's also wise to label leftovers with the date they were stored to help keep track of how long they've been sitting in the fridge. Once food is stored properly, the next critical step is how it's reheated. Food should always be reheated to a safe internal temperature of 165 degrees F, 74 degrees C. This is the point at which most harmful bacteria are destroyed. Using a food thermometer is the best way to confirm the food has reached this temperature, especially for thicker dishes like casseroles, stews, or meats. Simply heating until the food feels warm is not enough, particularly when using a microwave, which can heat unevenly and leave cold spots where bacteria can survive. Microwave reheating requires special attention. Because microwaves heat from the outside in, it's essential to stir food halfway through cooking to distribute heat more evenly. Covering the dish with a microwave safe lid or wrap helps trap steam, which aids in heating and maintains moisture. Letting the food sit for a minute or two after microwaving also helps even out the temperature, making it safer to eat. Another point to remember is not to reheat food more than once. Each time leftovers are cooled and reheated, the chance for bacterial growth increases. For this reason, it's better to take out and reheat only the portion you plan to eat, rather than reheating the entire dish multiple times. If food has been reheated and not consumed, it's best to discard it instead of storing it again. In summary, proper storage and thorough reheating must go hand in hand to protect health. Especially for seniors, taking the time to follow these steps can prevent illness and ensure that meals remain both delicious and safe. With just a few thoughtful practices in the kitchen, it's possible to enjoy leftovers with confidence and comfort every time. Knowing when to let go of leftovers is one of the most important parts of maintaining food safety, especially for seniors. The saying, "when in doubt, throw it out," may sound wasteful at first, but it's a simple, effective rule that can protect you from serious illness. While it can be tempting to save food a little longer to avoid waste, the risks of eating spoiled or questionable leftovers far outweigh the benefits. For older adults, whose bodies may not fight off bacteria and viruses as quickly or effectively as they once did, this principle becomes even more critical. The challenge with spoiled food is that it doesn't always look, smell, or taste bad. Harmful bacteria like Listeria, E. coli, or Salmonella don't necessarily cause obvious changes in appearance. That's why relying solely on your senses to judge food safety can be risky. Even a food that smells fine and looks unchanged can harbor dangerous microorganisms if it's been stored too long or wasn't handled properly in the first place. Seniors must develop the habit of being cautious, not just because their immune systems are more vulnerable, but because foodborne illnesses can lead to more serious complications such as dehydration, hospitalization, or long recovery periods. Another important consideration is how long leftovers have been in the refrigerator. In general, cooked food should be eaten within 3 to 4 days. After that, the risk of spoilage and bacterial growth increases significantly. Keeping a simple system, like labeling containers with the date they were stored, can help keep track of how long food has been sitting. If you can't remember when a dish was made or stored, it's safest to toss it. It's not worth taking the chance. Additionally, reheating does not fix a bad food. If a meal has gone bad, no amount of heat will make it safe to eat. Heating might kill some bacteria, but it won't eliminate toxins that certain bacteria have already produced. These toxins can cause food poisoning symptoms even after the bacteria are dead. This is why it's critical to assess both storage time and conditions before deciding whether something is safe to eat. Freezing is another tool that can extend the life of food safely, but even frozen items should be handled carefully. Foods should be frozen soon after cooking and thawed in the refrigerator, not at room temperature. Once thawed, food should be eaten within a day or two and should not be refrozen. Ultimately, the cost of getting sick, especially for older adults, is far greater than the cost of throwing out questionable leftovers. Adopting the mindset that your health is more valuable than a saved portion of food is key to staying well. The refrigerator should be a place of nourishment and safety, not a source of worry. So when you find yourself standing in front of the fridge, unsure about that container in the back, remember, when in doubt, throw it out. It's a simple decision that could save you a lot of trouble.